Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk a little bit about making art for the sake of other artists and how that's not really the ideal, it's not really what you set out to do. Nobody sets out to make a bit of art just for other artists to go, ooh, isn't that quite interesting, right? So you have a few different layers of appreciation of art. You've got your basic, watching Come Dine With Me on the telly, and you sat there and you're commenting on it and you're going, oh, look at that meal, looks terrible, that, right? And you got that, that's a nice little thing. I'm not having a go at the simple stuff. I love the simple stuff. I mean, I like sitcoms and all that kind of stuff and just like YouTube garbage. I like all of that, right? And I enjoy sitting down, commenting on something that's not particularly challenging and stimulating, right? Then you have sort of the mid sort of tier, which is, you're engaging your brain a little bit, right? And you feel like you're engaging with some kind of like intellectual kind of thing. And it feels like that, but it's a little bit sort of accessible. It's easy to get into. This would be something like watching like Inception, right? You feel like you're really clever watching Inception because you're like, oh, aren't they complicated with all their, dreams and stuff? And it is interesting, all of that. I do get a kick out of that. And when I say tiers for this, by the way, it's not to denigrate the simplistic stuff or to try and put the complicated stuff on a pedestal, right? Complicatedness or simpleness can be a good or a bad thing depending on whatever. Some songs are too complicated, some movies are too complicated, some movies are too simple, some are just the right level and they're very simple, some are just the right level and they're very complicated, right? And then you've got the top tier, which is, I would call it sort of, how would I put it? So when I used to make stuff, right, I used to make a lot of YouTube kind of stuff, like video essays and that kind of thing, right? And as time went on, I realized what was going on is that people in the comments were all like other YouTubers, right? They all wanted to do the same kind of thing. They were doing video essays and they were doing them in their own little style about their own little interests, right? And I'm doing my little video essays in my little style about my little interests, right? And what I found to be a bit irritating is that I'm making all this stuff just for other people to basically like take notes for the sake of making their own stuff. Now I do like the fact that other creators watch the things that I do and the idea that you can inspire someone to create their own thing, right? But I don't think that should be the sole goal of a bit of art, Say you're making a movie, right? And the movie is a very personal tragedy that's really deep and connects to you, and it's about something that was really significant in your life, right? And then you make it, you pour your heart and soul into it for like 3 years, and then it comes out, right? And the only people that watch it are people that seek to review it, or people that seek to make their own film, and they go, oh, how did he do it, right? Or you've got, I don't know, other sort of like critique kind of people. You can kind of lump that in with the reviewers, right? So yeah, sure, they're reviewing it, but when someone reviews a thing and they're watching it, yeah, they are engaging their brain and they are doing the simplistic level of commenting, but they're not quite doing that mid-tier thing of actually sitting down and like forcefully engaging themselves with it because they're in review mode. Even if they say that they're not in review mode, they kind of are in review mode. They're sitting there going, how can I, what is the plot doing here? What's the character doing here? And obviously some of that is just interpretive, the essence of media and trying to interpret stories and fiction and stuff into something that's legible in our own little mind's eye, right? And that's all well and good, but I don't know, you kind of want people to, you want someone to engage with your thing just for the sake of it. At least a few people to just engage with it for the sake of it, rather than creating stuff just for other creators to look at and take notes or to review so that they can make their own little bit of content out of it, so they can make their review and publish that, or make their own little YouTube review or whatever, right? You want people to engage with you who aren't necessarily creatives. I'm not, by the way, when I'm saying this, I don't mean it as exclusive. You don't want creatives watching your stuff. Of course you do. I love the fact that creatives watch my stuff, and that I get so much joy out of seeing people that do like this kind of thing, like these long stream of consciousness, one take kind of things out and about. I love seeing people doing that, and I'm so happy that like people are getting inspired to do that kind of thing, right? But if that was all that people were doing, right, people were just watching my videos and then just going off and making their own, and there was no one just enjoying them for the sake of them, then I'd be sick of doing them and I wouldn't really want to do them, because all I'm doing at that point is just engaging a load of people that aren't really engaged. They're just looking at notes on how to do it themselves, right? And I want people to take notes from stuff, and I take notes from all sorts of things and figure out how I can apply it to, like, if I see something I like, I figure out kind of what they're doing and how I can apply it in my own little way and all that kind of stuff. And that's all well and good. And I'm glad that we can have that. But at the same time, I just feel like it's difficult to sort of say, because I feel like I'm coming off quite cynical. I sort of feel like I'm sort of saying, I don't want creators watching my stuff. I do. I love the fact that creators are watching stuff like this, and they're taking inspiration and they're taking notes and they're applying those notes to their own future, right? For their future purposes. That's all well and good. But at the same time, you want people that are just like normal people, that aren't creators, that aren't artists, that aren't video content creators, right? You want a lot of those, the majority of people watching your stuff, to be those kind of people, because they're going to be the ones that are doing that lower tier of you know, just sitting there and commenting on it, or just sitting and watching it and vaguely engaging with something that's like, these videos aren't particularly challenging. There's something that you can just chuck on while you're at the gym, or like while you're going to bed, or while you're cooking or doing the washing up or whatever. This isn't like high art that you sit down and analyze and go, ooh, I wonder what he's doing with that. Ooh, I wonder what he's saying there, you know? That's not what this is all about. This is just, you know, the stream of consciousness, getting my own thoughts out there, seeing what can be done with those thoughts and applying them, and then doing more videos, taking the lessons I learned from previous ones and applying them to the next videos, and just doing that ad infinitum, essentially. And I like doing that, and it's really fun to see that people are getting something out of this. And I mean that on more of a level than just taking inspiration for their own bit of content, right? Because when I was making those video essays, and it was just people, like the only people that were watching them were people that wanted to go out and make their own video essays and stuff, I felt like I wasn't creating for any worth. I felt like I wasn't creating for anyone to enjoy. I felt like I was creating like GCSE textbooks for people to study. So, like, and no one likes reading a GCSE textbook, and that's what I was doing. That's what I was writing, basically. Because the only people that were engaging with the stuff that I was making were people that wanted to make the same thing as me. And they were looking at what I was doing going, oh, I wonder what he's done there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna try and do something like that, you know? And I'm not like someone that'd be like, ooh, they ripped me off or whatever. Like, you can rip this off, I don't care. Like, I'm not the first person who thought of talking to a camera. Oh yeah, loads of people have done that. People do that all the time. Like, people do them in little studios, they do them in their bedroom, they do them like out on the street, all sorts of places, right? And it's good. I like the fact that people are out there doing this. It's so, you know, rewarding, the fact that people are engaging with what I do, right? And then I like the fact that some are watching these and then going off and making their own thing out of it. There's a few channels that I don't have a list to remember them, right? But there's people like all across the world. I remember there's a guy in Japan called Tantra. There's a guy that's up north, I can't remember his name, and there's a guy in America who's doing them. And then there's a few others that do them like from inside a bedroom and stuff, but it's still the same kind of stream of consciousness thing. And I like the fact that people are watching and getting that little bit of engagement. But at the same time, when you're making stuff, you want your target audience to not be other creators, because there's not many creators out there, you know? We're probably like 1% of the total population. Not many people have made a film, not many people have written a book, not many people have like composed an album. Okay, you're unique in that sense. If you are one of those people and you're watching this and you're taking little notes on like, oh, I wonder what he's doing there, I'm going to try and do some of that, right? You're very unique in that regard, and you should be grateful for your creative mind always. And when you do make something that resonates with people, because that's the key. I think it's the fact that when you're getting people that aren't other creatives, those people are more able to resonate with stuff. It's hard for me to resonate with things because I'm constantly in work creating mode, trying to make my own little thing and seeing what they're doing and going, oh, I like that. Even when I'm listening to music, I was listening to music on the way here and I heard a drum fill and I was like, oh, that's a really good drum fill. I want to use something like that. And it's like, why can't I just appreciate the drum fill for what it is? It's a really good drum fill. Why can't I just listen to it and go, oh, that was good? I have to sit there and go, how can I do it in my own way, right? Just let the drum fill be. Just let the little things be. You don't always have to be seeking out the next bit of inspiration. Inspiration will come to you. You don't have to go to it, okay? That's essentially the core of this video, is that inspiration will come to you. You don't need to go to it. I'm going to reiterate that. Inspiration will come to you. You don't need to go to it. Okay. And when you do start creating things and you know, acquiring an audience, I feel like you'll be more, since now I've had both. I've had just other creators watching my stuff for the sake of like seeing what I do and that kind of thing, and like giving like the positive responses because they're friends and stuff like that, you know, oh yeah, really good work, man. And it's like, I know you didn't watch all of it. I know you kind of skip through to get a general idea of what's going on so that you can leave, because you feel like you're supposed to leave a comment to show support and that kind of thing. Whereas if you're just a normal person commenting on a thing, it's because it resonated with you and not because you feel like you owe that person a little thanks because they thank you on your videos or whatever, you know? You can just make stuff and people can engage with it, and that's nice and simple. And again, just to reiterate, I don't want to come across as if I don't want creators watching my stuff. I love the fact that creators watch this stuff and get something out of it, and you know, take the lessons and stuff that I sort of figure out in these videos and apply them in their own little ways. And they do these kind of videos with their own spin on them, you know. I love all that. It's amazing, and it's so gratifying seeing the people do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to get that across, the idea of making art for other artists. Like, it's not the ultimate goal, I think. I don't think that's the ultimate goal. I think the ultimate goal is making art just for normal, everyday, bog standard people, and not other creatives who are like not the 1% in terms of like, you know, they're super, well, they are quite unique because most people don't go out making films and albums and stuff. Most people generally have like an idea for something in their head, but not everyone goes and does it, you know? Everyone has like idea for a novel, but how many people have actually written that novel? Yeah, some people have, some people haven't. Some people surprise you. Yeah, that's about it from me. Please leave your comments below. Are you a fellow creator? Do you watch these videos sort of thinking, oh, I wonder what he's done there. I'm gonna try and do a little bit of that. Do you understand what I'm talking about when it comes to watching stuff just for the sake of like interpolating it for your own work, compared to just sitting down and actually being able to enjoy something, which I feel like is easier to do when you're not creative? And yeah, leave your comments about that and about this video in general. Do you think this is a load of pretentious shite? If you do, leave your comments about that. We welcome all voices, I suppose. And yeah, take care everybody. Bye-bye.